Hey everyone, it's Midnight Launch, Darth CJ here. What we're doing is the Midnight Launch team. We're going to discuss some of the best series in the recent console and discuss whether, maybe the third or fourth installment was better than the previous iterations, and basically just some of the best franchises and most notable franchises in recent memory. So to kick it off, I think we'll avoid some of the heavy hitters. But Halo, let's maybe give that a quick once-over here. I've never been a Halo guy. I stopped after Halo 1. I played Halo 2 for precisely 7 minutes and played Halo 3 for 3 minutes. But do you played all of them, hey?
I played a majority of them. I played Halo 4, back when it came out or shortly after it came out. It was good. I'm not a huge Halo fan, despite the fact that I've got a couple of them in my library.
Yeah, I'm looking up at it right now.
I was more invested into the storyline for Halos 1 through 3, than I was for gameplay or multiplayer. But Halo is almost synonymous with multiplayer now. It's one of the biggest ones for multiplayer. And it certainly did push things, graphically wise, it's a very beautiful game. It's obviously better than the original, back on the original Xbox. Every time they do push a little bit, but I find there's certain little things that they kind of fall back with a little bit here and there. Halo 4, I found, they talked about the new guns that you would get with the Prometheans or whatever the hell their names were. But they were just copy and pasted images of, the human or the Covenant weapons.
Yeah,
they didn't function different.
Yeah, it was different art style and the same mechanics.
And it's such a petty thing to be mad about, but it did. It made me mad that they were that lazy.
I don't know what else they could do with it, though.
Well, but you can make the guns function differently.
Even just different fire rate or something.
Yeah, something to make it different other than just copy and paste and throw a different skin on it.
And see, I didn't notice it. When I played Halo 4, I felt the gun physics were way better than any other of the Halo games, because I used to avoid those Covenant weapons like the plague because they felt like they had no oomph to them. You'd fire them and it'd just be like, pew! Oh great, that did a lot of damage, but in Halo 4 it felt like everything you shot had weight behind it. And the graphical overhaul of the whole series, it was Halo 4, I think, was a really good cap.
So what was the best of the series of Halo?
I'm torn between 1 and Reach. Those are my favorites.
Reach is it for me.
Yeah.
I liked kind of the origin story almost that was presented in it. I liked seeing and fighting along other Spartans.
Yeah.
So that was the last of the series, which is sort of funny, because now let's tackle Assassin's Creed.
Fuck Halo 2, by the way.
That's what I said. I played like 13 minutes and what a piece of shit. So Assassin's Creed, I started off. I loved Assassin's Creed 1. I know it was repetitive. I was taking European history, the Renaissance specifically, when Assassin's Creed 2 came out. So I'm learning about a lot of these different monuments and I'm seeing them in game, and I think Assassin's Creed, that franchise, while it got convoluted when it seemed like they were just trying to sort of McDonald's pump out, a different title every year or 6 months, I think 1, 2, Brotherhood, when they introduced the multiplayer, they were fantastic. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, no, I think 1 was good and it introduced some interesting concepts, but it was kind of that they refined all the mechanics in 2, and I think that was kind of where it got to that apex of where it started getting good and playable and appealing to more people and that sort of thing.
Rather than just the exact same thing.
Yeah, for sure. So 2 and Brotherhood, those are probably my favorites in the series.
3, I haven't even completed yet. Okay, I just became an adult because I don't give a shit about hunting bears. Okay, stop this. No, I lose interest really quickly.
Yeah.
The storyline to me was I get it. Okay, you're trying to reach out to a cultural group, and that's cool. Don't make it about natives or any ethnicity. It's never about ethnicity. That was the best part. Don't bring someone's heritage in. They're an assassin first and foremost. Yeah. So make them an assassin.
But speaking to that part, that's what it really lost. I did actually finish it, but the part that lost me for it was it's assassin. You're an assassin in it, and you didn't feel like an assassin. You felt like this guy walking down the street, tomahawk.
You have a tomahawk.
Yeah.
How the fuck is that stealthy?
Well, but
if you throw it, what you actually even do?
And I understand that it's a little bit more difficult to be, an assassin running on the rooftops in the New World and whatnot. It's difficult because you don't have these really tall buildings, but at the same time, they didn't seem to make any effort to make it true to its origin of being you're an assassin and basically not a maniac running around with an axe.
I mean, what 3 comes off to me, because I haven't played the game yet, but it comes off as just they're so high on themselves from like the last games that they were pretentious enough to not give you full access to assassin abilities for what, like the first 6 to 8 hours of the game or something. Like, fuck you. I'm not gonna spend a shift.
And I didn't mind that in the first one where you got taken away because it had context. Yeah, where it's like you got to re-earn your stripes sort of thing. But on this one, it's like, okay, like these very. They try to go a little artsy with it, and they try to sort of pander to the growth of your assassin. No one gives a shit about who this person is. Like, that's the best part about it. That's why you have the Animus. You care about Desmond. You care about that storyline, which also went really screwy. And the whole Lucy part, I was like, why? Anyway, but like that's the story. That's the underlying. The assassin is supposed to be one-dimensional. They're supposed to have maybe a little bit of character arc, not like, oh, your family's dead and now you have to learn how to hunt squirrels. Like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah. My favorite part of 3, and the only part that I can say that was good, was the naval combat.
Yeah. And it's coming into 4.
Yeah, and that's why I'm really excited for 4. It was really well done. It was super immersive. You know, like you're lining up your shots. You hear, your guy yelling, hold. Yeah. And as soon as you let go of the trigger, you hear fire, and you hear everybody else yelling fire, and the cannonballs are flying, and that was just pure awesomeness.
Yeah.
And that was it.
And like
for the awesomeness in that game.
Anyone who's listened to Midnight Launch podcast knows I have a hard-on for pirates and assassins. So like I know that I'm totally going to be like all over this game. But like I'm really hoping they do some more justice to it. That's something you can do, the storyline. You're getting rid of Desmond. That's a little worn out. But switching gears... I've never liked this franchise, but a lot of people do. Gears of War.
Yeah. Oh no, I love the Gears of War series. I mean, I can understand the drawbacks that people find in it, like the fact that you basically flex yourself back to good health after you get rid of the bullets.
Which is what happens to me.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I can empathize too. I'd show you now, but I really like the sweater.
No, that's
I don't want to rip it. So, but no, I thought it was a very good series. The story is pretty decent. I really like the cover mechanics, especially as you go later on into the series, because the first one you tend to stick to anything when you press the A button. All of a sudden you're behind a shrub you didn't notice before or whatever. So that got a little maddening, but I don't know. I really liked it, and I really liked the multiplayer. And it's funny, because I remember you saying earlier that you hated it because it was slow. I think that's why I like it. Because when I play Call of Duty, I die all the time. It's just like a constant maddening death after death after death. Where in Gears of War, I can take a couple hits while I'm running for cover.
A couple?
Yeah.
Take a couple clips while you're running for cover.
Yeah, exactly. But then I can still turn around, and I feel like I can compete better. And I'm going to be that lame gamer that plays the games he's best at. So the Gears of War series is great for me. And how can you discount Horde mode?
No, and that's the one thing that a lot of people have gotten... I might try out sometime.
Yeah, no, it's a good series. I mean, I think my experience with the multiplayer is a little different. Like, you say it's a slow game. I found it pretty quick that as soon as I spawned into a game, somebody rolled up to me and blasted me with a shotgun, and that was it, over and over and over again. So I never really tried the competitive multiplayer outside of that. But I mean, when it came into 3 with the Horde mode and the Locust versus Marines and that type of thing, that they did a lot of interesting things with it. And just summing up the storyline in 3, I think 3 is my favorite out of the series for sure.
I liked the single player. Multiplayer, I was okay with it. I didn't have as big of an issue transitioning between, Call of Duty and Gears as maybe Darth CJ did. But, and I...
Such a brat.
I played Judgment maybe a couple months back, and my God, what a terrible game.
Oh, yeah.
I hated that one. First of all, it's about Baird. I don't give two shits about Baird. Honestly. I don't like him. I never did like him. I would be more happy with Cole, having a story about Cole than him. And I hated, I don't like it when games mark me, that evaluate how well I did against some standard, because that's what this one does.
Well, GTA did that, and that's the one thing I have against GTA as a side note, is like they tell you got silver on a level, and I'm like, I didn't even know what I was supposed to do.
Yeah.
Sorry, sidebar on that.
And I mean, in Gears of War, it's a little bit better because it tells you a little bit what it is you're supposed to do. You can change the difficulty in Judgment based on certain things. But still, at the same time, if I finish the level, then I finish the level. Don't tell me that I did it by, like, the skin of my teeth kind of thing. Right?
Yeah, that's fair. But which one was best in series?
For Gears, I would have to say 3.
Yeah.
3.
Okay, so now we have a trilogy that the third one was the best.
Yeah.
On to one where that was not the case. Mass Effect. Anyone who wants to try to argue that Mass Effect 3 was the best, please drop us a line, alright? We'd love to have an open conversation about why you're wrong.
Not opposed to physical altercation.
So, like, the first Mass Effect I really enjoyed. It came out to a lot of fanfare, a lot of attention from Xbox Studios, yada yada. It was pushed pretty heavily. I thought they did a really good job getting a storyline. Unfortunately, I've played all 3, and now I'm back playing 1, trying to go through again, and it's painful. Because, like, you can only map one ability to that, and you're just like, why can't I use multiple abilities? You know, it's really frustrating.
Well, even the vehicle alone, like, thank God they got rid of that.
yeah.
Oh, that was awful.
That's
That is all the maneuverability of 2 fat guys running down the street holding a piece of plywood running into the wind. Like, it's horrible.
So I downloaded it off of Steam way back right after it came out, and something went screwy with the download. So when I was playing it on certain planets, the ground textures weren't rendering properly, so it was just black on the ground. And this one particular planet was one where there was lava, streams of lava, and so it was literally trial and error going through, trying to go, okay, well, I can't go through that grid section because it was a black grid that was on the ground.
That's awful.
And after about the 10th time of me trying to mull through this, I was like, nope, fuck it, I'm done.
Like,
fuck Mass Effect and BioWare.
So you haven't played 2 or 3?
No, I played 2.
Yeah, you played 3 with me.
I played 2 and 3, but it was that first one, and that's why I didn't play the first one. I remember you gave me 2, and I loved 2.
2 is, so they took 1 and they said, okay, there's some really good aspects to this. The vehicle is not one of them, but there's like the storyline you liked. Like, I love the characters, like Garrett.
Yeah.
Like, that guy, he's just solid. But
Yeah.
not here nor there. So you go through, you can fall in love, you have your relationship, you make these decisions that actually impact your storyline, which I thought was neat. It had more of an impact than Fable 3, but not here nor there. Sorry.
I don't talk about that series.
So, but Mass Effect 2 comes in, you port your character over, and man, was that good. Like, you got, different characters you can pursue romantically, you have all these different side storylines. It's very linear main story with all these different branches that are very similar, but really gets you engrossed. I figured out, I think you can turn your character gay, because I kept talking to my arms guy. Like, it was on my 5th playthrough, because you're trying to get more and more character stuff, and then I'm like, he's like, do you want to go have a drink? And I'm like, whoa. Like, I can never play a character that way.
Can you really turn a character gay, or are they created gay?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Are we getting into the existential? No, there's an algorithm in the fucking programming, asshole. Don't pay me to be the bad guy on this. Jesus Christ. No, but like you can set that up. And I thought that was really, really awesome for the time it came out. But like, man, the side story, what was that? The assassin, the Drell, and like Legion, and like picking up the Geth Legion and having Talia. Talia was the biggest letdown of that whole game because like I spent an entire playthrough just to see what she looked like without the helmet when you got with her, and then it fades away when she takes off the helmet. I'm just like, no. I ruined like 40 hours of gameplay. But like that was awesome. The third one, I liked the story of it, but I'm like, wait, where's the sense of urgency? Why am I going on these side missions to help a guy get like a part for his tractor when like my planet is getting destroyed?
Yeah, I think it's a case that 2 set the bar so high in terms of the story and the pacing and everything like that there's no way that 3 could have.
Well, and the ending
they could have done better.
The ending was.
They could have done better with that ending.
I can't think of a better ending.
But there was a neat theory that came out.
Oh my god!
Talking about it, I showed you that video.
Yeah.
And the whole idea was that Shepard is starting to be converted. Or whatever, like the
once he goes up into the ship, and by the way, spoiler alert, alright? Spoiler alert, if you haven't played it, have you?
No.
Okay, so we're gonna stop there, because I don't want to ruin the finale of this series.
Okay, there's one thing I want to ask about, because I know you're gonna ask which is the best, and I think we know where this is going, but there's an interesting piece to the Mass Effect series too, where you can import your character from game to game.
Yes.
So, is 1 going back to 1 at this point bad enough that you should just skip it and start at 2?
Skip it.
I would
Or
say
do
yes.
you want to build a character to import?
Here's the
all the way
thing.
through?
I'm asking that exact hypothesis, and I'm struggling through 2 or through 1 right now with this character that I only just want to import. But like,
Coming back to it now, I think it'll turn you off if you go back to
Yeah.
one.
I would say start
think
at 2.
We're too far along.
Start to that's where I started, and I was okay. You get the basic rundown of what happens in 1 when you start playing 2.
the problem is I played through 2 9 or 10 times. So like, I want that new flair, that different thing you selected in the first thing, because like, you know, the Hive Queen and things like that come through. I want to have those differences. So
Right, see how it cascades throughout the whole series, right?
exactly.
It depends on what you want to do. Like, I know personally I played through it kind of like good the first time, and then
So
I
did I.
kind of want to see how it happens if I'm an asshole, basically.
Right.
So I would recommend play 2, and if you get through to 3 and you really liked it, then go back to 1, and then...
Here's what I will give 3 a lot of credit for. Too often in many games where you can be good or bad, or, you know, Renegade or Paragon, it wasn't necessarily good or bad, but too many times in those games it's like, do you want to kill this truck of orphans or set them free? And it's like, well, Jesus, I'm not like an absolute psychopath. So like,
how my workday was.
people... Jesus. So
It's true, though. I mean, some days those deep fry
But,
those
like,
little bastards. Let them all burn.
I love it. Oh, we're getting an MA rating on this podcast. But like, there's too many times where the decision is like, oh, do I want to be a little good or like into this realm of super evil? But the thing I loved about Mass Effect 3, probably the most of any game, was there was no cut and paste option. There was one, I don't want to spoil it, but you were making a radical decision one way or another that's going to have huge implications on this galaxy, and neither's good or bad. Like, both have their pros, both have their cons. You're sitting there like, I sat there staring at the screen for like 10 minutes until like my screensaver comes on, like it dims the Xbox. I'm just like, shit. So I'll give it a lot of credit for that. I guess one more series that there's a couple, but 2 more series. One is NHL series. So for those of you who don't know what hockey is, it's an activity very similar to soccer, but with skates and sticks and a lot more speed.
And physical contact.
Yeah. A lot more humor, but NHL, which has its niche market, obviously, it's never going to hit Madden levels, but great franchise in my opinion. So let's take it from maybe like 10 to 14, because I think that's really where it started evolving. Brought in, I think it was 11, where it brought in that active move stick, the right joystick.
The skill stick. Yeah. So instead of just hitting X to shoot, now you've got your actual stick control.
And to pass and to do, other moves. So I thought that was a neat thing. So now we're at NHL 14. And rather than comparing, obviously, the whole series, what are your thoughts on Shell?
Okay, well, I mean, there's lots of opinions on this of people who play these sports games. NHL certainly not unique to it with like Madden and all those other series who just release a new game every year. Obviously, not everything changes from year to year, or say even from decade to decade in some cases. I think the NHL has used the same commentators since 2009, and
they're dead.
And actually, in 14, there was some scripting even kept from the last game, so they would say things that don't necessarily match up with the new year of the sports game. So I haven't come across any specific.
That's like the laziest coding game development ever. And fuck it, reuse the audio.
So for NHL 14, I think there's a bit of a grace period because it's the last title before they go to the next generation console. So obviously they're not going to reinvent.
You're not going to build a whole new engine.
No. So I mean, the fact that the presentation's pretty much identical and the commentary's the same, maybe a little bit crappy, I can forgive it because they've done enough tweak in the physics of the game to make it an upgrade, I guess. The first person, I'm not sure if you guys ever did the fighting in the old modes.
Yeah.
Where it's like all of a sudden it fades into your character and you got your gloves in front of you and you just kind of start punching. That's gone now. And it's all real time. Like if I was to
Like
take
someone comes to your door and you fight them?
Can you do
quite.
a dragon punch on something?
not
Hadouken!
Yeah. Trying to make Hadouken work, but it's all like third person now and happens relevant to what's going on in the game. So if you take a dirty, like you hit somebody from behind in the corner, especially someone who's a star player, the goon defenseman who's on the ice will immediately drop his gloves and come after you, and you find yourself just in a fight.
Unless you're the Habs, you don't have a goon defense.
Well, yeah, it's funny. I'm playing as the Habs, and every time that I hit one of the other star players, it's usually lights out for whichever 5'6" forward happened in the first place. My biggest beef for NHL 14 is they've done this new GM connected mode, which if anyone out there is listening would like to play, we have 6 teams out of 30 controlled by real people in our league, so definitely open for more participation.
Send us a message on Facebook.
Indeed. But the whole point of this is that it's online and they use a companion app, which is kind of like the new fun thing to do with games, right? To manage it. Which is in theory a really great thing, with the exception
But
that...
I see you have an Apple, so it sucks.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing, it's only available for iOS. So there's no Android app, there's no even web interface to go online and do this online on a real computer. And the app, for a game that's centric around the app being part of it, the app feels like an afterthought. Like as the commissioner, I'm the commissioner of the league, I can post a message to everybody from the app. However, it won't let me put spaces between words, backspace words. It won't let me put any punctuation in, and you have like a set character limit on the app that you can actually do any of that stuff. So it seems like basic functionality wasn't part of their QA process
Like grammar?
with this application. Nothing. The app just doesn't make it worth it. I can go on and check my schedule, basically, is about all I feel comfortable doing on the app. And even then, I have to double check when I get home on my actual console. So it's a good concept. I'm hoping they do a lot more with it with one, because the gameplay between other GMs is actually really, really fun. But the fact that it doesn't support it. The app is just, it's not.
Well, you're playing with Earthlink, right?
Earthlink, yeah, he's playing as the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Oh, what a dick. Okay, so... I hate him so much right now. Yeah, alright. You know, the series, I think, really is going to have to be evaluated based off its body of work with the next console. When the new engines start coming in, and not even the first one, because all they're going to do is take 15 for 360, spruce up the graphics. It's 16 that is really going to be decent. Now, I guess the other series, and probably because we're such fanboys that I'd like to touch on, is Call of Duty, which has evolved.
Oh, exponentially over the years.
The initial, I remember the initial Call of Duty, and now where it is. Let's try to stick into sort of where multiplayer came in. Was that World at War was where it started? Sort of.
No,
Call of 3.
Well,
Modern Warfare
2 really is where multiplayer really came in.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Modern Warfare, I think.
Modern Warfare 4 is where it really took off.
I think Citizen, Modern Warfare 3 was where it took off.
Well, I mean,
sorry.
2, Modern Warfare 2.
So Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, I think,
okay, yeah.
Really, multiplayer really became a
too many, thing. Okay. Side note, too many numbers off of different offshoots. Okay, this isn't an evolutionary tree. But
if we want to define the multiplayer as the standard Call of Duty experience where you have perks, you have airstrikes, you have all those things, from my memory, I think it was Modern Warfare started that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right? I think they had that in 2. There was multiplayer, but there were different game modes. And
so
2 and 3 just had the regular multiplayer.
So it went Modern Warfare, then World at War?
Yeah.
And then Modern Warfare 2.
Right.
Yeah. And then Black Ops.
Yep.
And then Modern Warfare 3, which is such a blight. And then Black Ops 2.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm going to just remove... Well, maybe we won't get to there, but Modern Warfare 2 was where I started dabbling. I didn't even understand kill streaks, so I was like, how the fuck does this guy have a helicopter he's shooting me? I just spawned. That's not fair. Where's my helicopter? Long story short, I just wanted a helicopter. Let's talk about sort of the multiplayer amidst the single player, because single player is almost a throwaway now at this point. Like, no one buys this game for the 8 hours of single player.
I pretty much use single player as almost training.
Yeah.
To get familiar with guns, to get familiar with what the environment's going to look like, how the controls are going to be.
Whatever
That's what I use multiplayer single player. Yeah, exactly.
So I guess we're on multiplayer. I thought 2 was really well done. I've always been a huge fan of Black Ops 1. In my opinion, it's the best of the series. they knew their limitations. They focused on gameplay above anything else. The environments weren't that pretty. No one really gave a shit about environment development.
But they were varied.
They were varied. The color was varied. The map was varied. The concept, however, because we're mainly domination players, the concept held true, though, in the map design, that no side had an inherent benefit getting to B over another. There were some things that maybe you have a better vantage point to see it versus the other side, but they always equalized. Mm-hmm. And I love that about Black Ops. Modern Warfare 3 was so bad. If you like the color gray and ruined cityscapes, you will love the multiplayer in that.
Brown.
You can say that
the 50 Shades of Blue.
Yeah. But that one was
Modern
so
Warfare 2, they had areas like, one of my favorite maps in Modern Warfare 2 was the airport one, where you were in the terminal. Terminal was a great map. It was very, even where you were, if you were in the terminal, it was much more colorful than if you were out on the tarmac, or it was just white and grays, because that's what an airport tarmac looks like. But
isn't that Black Ops that has that one in it?
No, that was Modern Warfare 2.
Because it was based off of the No Russian mission.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and then, so one thing I liked about Modern Warfare 3 was you could customize your kill streaks to each loadout. Okay, I have this one that is a massive kill streak one. That way if I'm crushing, I can switch to that. So you never got that option in any of the others. The thing that
support kill streaks.
The support kill streaks are good, but it made you lazy. It made me lazy in that, whatever, I can die 30 times, I'll still get a big-ass kill streak.
And then go into Black Ops 2 with that, it was murder on trying to get higher kill streaks. Yeah.
And the thing I love about 2 is it's not kill streaks, it's score streaks.
Yeah.
You no longer get penalized if you're actually, doing what you're supposed to, like capping points, where you tend to die more. You get a lot more points for that. So that's what I really like, is that, you get points for things that aren't just kills. Now, as far as the franchise goes, I don't know. I say Black Ops 1 was probably the best, and I think a case could be made for Modern Warfare 2. It's just I never got into it there. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts, Dave?
I was going to say Black Ops was the one I really enjoyed, but now that I just clarified that thing with the airplane level,
Modern Warfare
2 is the last time I really enjoyed it. I think Black Ops was okay, but after I played Black Ops, I was kind of like, unless I need this for a LAN party, I'm not buying these anymore.
Okay.
I came home from work frustrated, looking to blow off steam, and then 20 minutes later, I would be looking for another way to blow off.
Yeah, because you're more frustrated after all that.
I'm more frustrated. I suck at work, and now I can't even beat a 12-year-old at a stupid video game. I'm going to drink.
Black Ops was really good. I think that was kind of my most favorite multiplayer, but I logged way more hours at World at War. I think it was Treyarch's first where they took over the series. They introduced a lot of ideas in the multiplayer setup. It's the one that got me hooked on domination game type in general. Having the vehicles on the map, one guy being able to get into a tank and how that can swing it in one way or another.
Weren't the kill streaks insanely low on that one? Like 5 kills and you get dogs?
Yeah, the dogs.
The heat-seeking meat missiles.
Dogs. Always with the dogs. But I think just because that was the first time they kind of hit their stride with it, that's kind of what. And a lot of the mission design, and I play the zombie mode, and I liked playing the zombie mode with World War II weapons as opposed to the Black Ops stuff they've done recently, but I don't know. That's my personal favorite.
We tried zombie a couple times, and it's
repetitive.
Well, and it's an exercise in futility, where you're like, oh look, another wave. Oh, I have a rocket launcher. I just killed my team.
Because in Gears Horde mode, that there is an end you can win. Whereas I found in zombies, it's how long can you live before you are inevitably overrun.
And now there's some people who can complete it. We aren't those people.
No.
And especially playing with guys like Excessive and Earthlink who just run off on their own and throw a grenade in at random areas. You're like, what do you, now I have to come save you.
Yeah.
That can get frustrating. And that game lives or dies by the team that you're playing with. That's always the issue. You can have the coordination to be able to cover the in and out points and find on that map where you can make your stand. It's certainly a score thing, seeing how long you can survive. And if you're looking for the satisfaction of getting to the end, then it's not the mode for you. But I don't know. It certainly holds a place in my memory. And I play the single players. I thought it was one of the better single players.
Yeah.
I liked how it actually led into Black Ops, where there's characters from
Reznov.
World War II Reznov showing up in Black Ops.
Was he in World War? That's sort of cool. I love Reznov. Was he good in World War?
He was a main character.
Yeah.
He was, when you find yourself in the fountain at the very beginning, he's the one who kind of drags you out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And you pretty much follow him through all of the story.
Well, you do in Black Ops as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you like the series, it's totally a cool entry into like the Call of Duty mythos or whatever.
Yeah.
See, and I've never been I'm just apathetic to the story. To me, it's all about like what kill streaks. Myself, Malthe, and Earthlick, when we log on, it's like Dogs, Huey, and Black Ops. And you just start having these moments where like you can't send up another Huey because your teammate has one. Like it's good destroying people's souls in multiplayer in that game. And when the 3 or 4 of us can get online, like there was one time we were at a LAN here at Malthe's place, and we had, what was our winning streak? 40 matches in a row.
Yeah. I had we were counting off of mine because I think
mine got reset 2 games in, but we still 40 games in a row.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that was and the only reason why it stopped is because we literally stopped to go
get pizza, and then we got dropped into a game.
Yeah.
That's what sucks. And one side note is, I hate games that score you based on getting dropped in. We got dropped in, it's like 178 to 10, and it counts as a loss. And I'm like, that's not fair. Like, we didn't have a chance to win.
In any way you could have changed the outcome.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that was frustrating. Well, I guess we get a 3 count. But.
Yeah. My personal favorite was Black Ops, the original Black Ops myself. Level design and everything. I like the customization. The customization went way by the wayside in Black Ops 2, and that kind of disappointed me. You know, it's such a minor thing, but
that's
all the different
points. You could customize everything in that game. Black Ops 2 is the most customizable game.
But, okay, what about your sights? Like, I'm talking about like the expansiveness of customization. Your sights for your guns, there were like 50 different items that you could pick from.
Yeah, hold on.
The red dot.
If you didn't want to perk 2 in Black Ops 2, you could do that and get something else.
Yeah, no, and I totally get that, and that's what I like about Black Ops 2. That's that side of customization. I also kind of like the monetary system. I know a lot of people didn't like it, but
I loved the monetary. I thought that was the right choice.
I think Black Ops 2 did a good job kind of go in the middle of the road between Modern Warfare 3.
At least it didn't punish you. You didn't have to play like 42 games with a gun to get like a sight on it.
Yeah. And that was the part that, you know, I was okay with, but I still like the monetary system. I like doing the contracts. The contracts were fun.
God, you score horse. Alright, so talk to us about franchises, talk to us about whatever sequels and how we're wrong, because undoubtedly we were wrong on something here. And what other series you think you'd like us to talk about? Obviously, we didn't get to Zelda or Mario, which are two sort of the big boys on this list, and maybe we'll do that in another episode. Midnight Launch. Have a good one.